Gonna show you how to deploy a Go Gen app to Blossom in this video. So to do that, we're gonna click on documentation here. Under here, we click on Go Gen, and you can see here's a quick start. It says visit the Blossom quick starts page, choose the example app, and click deploy. So let's go there now. Under here, somewhere here's Go Gen, configure and deploy. So to deploy, we need a cluster, and you can already see I created a cluster here, the demo cluster. So let me show you where that is. And here's the demo cluster. It's running Hertzner. So I should point out that I'm running a Hertzner, but you could use any cloud provider that you want. Pretty much all the major cloud providers are supported. And you can also use your own data center if you want to. So that is the demo cluster right there. If you click on that, you can see I added one server to that with the load balancer and web tier kind of all collapsed down. So here's the cool thing about Blossom. You could collapse all the roles or tiers down onto one server if you want to save money there. And you can actually deploy multiple apps. I got a couple apps running on this actually right now. I got some PHP apps that I just deployed onto there. And let's go back to the servers list. And you can see that these two servers, load balancer or this one server, has both the load balancer and web tier, so everything's collapsed down. What you can do is if you need to scale out, you can actually separate those rows onto separate servers, so then you don't have like the noisy neighbors. And then you can even then have separate clusters for separate apps if you need that level of scale. And you don't have to scale on per server basis. You actually scale on per container basis also, so you can scale on per container or per server basis. So there's lots of ways to use kind of Blossom here. Okay, that covers the cluster. Let's go onto the quick start again. Here's the app name. It's a GoGen, and then here is the URL. So here you click on this, and you can see that it's just a typical Go app. Here's the main, and you can see this is a Gen app. So it's pretty lightweight, pretty straightforward here. It just basically supports basically a home route, and looks like a couple API calls. Hello here, so it's gonna echo hello, and then there's echo and there's a hello message. Okay, so that's what it does. Next is you need a container registry. So you can use existing container registries. I'm using Docker Hub in this case, but all major container registries like ACR, ECR, GCR, and GHCR are all supported. And I'm going to click create the app now. So the app has been created. Now it's telling me click here to deploy. So I'm going to click that. And then you can see the logs here. So the deploy has started. You click on here. It's going to show you the pairing or the main log. The main log you think about is like the cluster log. It shows you what's kind of happening overall. And you can see it's saying using basically this to build essentially a Docker image. And then it's going to build the Docker image onto that server. So if you want to see more specific logs, you actually go here. And that's nice because it separates kind of more detailed logs from the overall log. So it's not as noisy. So you can see it's kind of like building the Go app here. And I should point out, check out this GitHub code. There is no Docker file. So no Docker file is needed. It's completely optional because Blossom will detect the language and framework and then figure out how to build a Docker image for you. In this sense, it's kind of zero configuration. Now, if you want to use your own Docker file and have more customizations, you could do that and you customize it, but you don't need to. It's completely optional. Let's go back to now I guess, parent app log here. So that's gonna take some time to build the app. So let me click around and kind of give you a little tour here. Here's the dashboard. This is where we clicked deploy earlier. These are the recent logs here. And then here's the GitHub repo with the repo settings. So here are the repo settings essentially from quick start. And if you need, you can use a private repository, of course, and you can connect to your provider here like GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket. Then you would just specify your private repo that way, so you don't need to have your repo public. Docker registries, this is where you specify where to push the Docker image. Again, I'm using Docker Hub here. And then databases, we don't have databases in the app, but it's just a simple GoGen app. Environmental variables, I don't believe, yeah, we don't have any environmental variables here too, but you can add environmental variables here if you need to and save them and all that. Activity, that is basically the deploy activities here that's happening on the app. Then app logs, that's kind of interesting. Basically, what happens is when the Docker container is kind of running, it's going to show you your web process, your worker process, whatever process you have, and it's actually going to live stream all your basically your traffic here. So if you're debugging your app, this is very, very useful, app logs, okay? That's like my go-to right there. Okay, let's go back to the dashboard and let's go back to deploy. You can see it finished the build, so you can go here and you can see at the end there, it basically pushed the Docker image. Go back to the parent log, apps deploy. So apps deploy here, you can see basically deployed by Docker Compose. So it's pretty simple how Blossom works. So that's kind of the beauty of it. And then it created a managed domain here. So what that is just a short URL that you can visit the site to immediately. And that basically is our SSL enabled. So HTTPS, everything's kind of working around the box, right out of the gates. Then it basically deploys load balancer. So now if you click on the dashboard here, you can click on view app. That's going to show you our demo app. See, here's the greeting generator. You just click on that. It says hello world. Then you could echo whatever message here you want, and it says just echoes it back. And here's some links to documentation, more quick starts. Okay, that is pretty much it. And that's how you deploy a GoGen app onto Blossom.